For this job showcase, we're going to be taking a look at a very special job. It's a job that once you start to use it, you will quickly wish every character in the game could make use of it. The job in question is the primary job for 5th party member Joon-gi, the Hitman. But before we get into the video, just a quick reminder that you can find links to all of my Yakuza Like a Dragon coverage, including an overview of the battle system, the job system, and more in the video description. Also, be sure to follow me over on Twitch, where I stream most nights. We play a lot of RPGs, especially JRPGs, and oftentimes play games well before their Western releases as I translate them throughout our playthroughs. The Hitman is an offensive powerhouse, with access to blunt damage, pierce damage, slash damage, and, through Joon-gi's character abilities, shock damage. It can apply status ailments such as bleed, sleep, stun, poison, and paralysis, and then it can capitalize on that by dealing increased damage to those enemies suffering from status ailments. The job also has, as far as I know, the single most efficient ability in the entire game with regards to how much damage it does for its MP cost. Put simply, there really isn't much the Hitman can't do offensively. And luckily, it has the stats to back this up, as the Hitman boasts a phenomenal attack stat that is second only to the Mafia, as well as the highest speed and dexterity stats in the entire game. For its weapon of choice, the Hitman uses brass knuckles. These weapons allow the Hitman to hit 4 times total with its standard attacks, which is fantastic given its incredibly high dexterity, as each individual hit can score a critical strike. Adding to this, the Hitman can gain access to brass knuckles that do elemental damage, such as fire or shock, making the job incredibly versatile. Job abilities for the Hitman can be broken down into 2 categories, offensive and support. But I will also be covering Joon-gi's character abilities as well, since the Hitman is his primary job. That being said, where do I start? The Hitman has so many good abilities that I guess I'll just highlight the ones I used most, starting with Holding Blow. This is the ability I alluded to that is the most efficient in the game. It deals physical blunt damage to a target at the cost of only 6 MP, but holy sh** does this ability hit like a truck. In fact, Holding Blow hits so hard that I thought it had a high chance of causing instant death for the longest time. Next is Phantom Stub. This ability has the Hitman go invisible for 1 turn before reappearing the following turn to deal physical blunt damage to your selected target. First and foremost, this ability also hits hard, but more so than that is the stealth aspect of the ability that really sets it apart. Most of the time, going invisible is just a bonus. However, against bosses that telegraph their attacks, or whose attack patterns you've already learned, you can take advantage of the Hitman's incredible speed to preemptively use Phantom Stub and avoid an attack altogether. Chain Beat deals a flurry of blows, one after another, for physical blunt damage, and much like with the Hitman's standard attacks, each individual hit can critically strike. Similarly, Rapid Shot works the same way, only for pierce damage, except that since the Hitman uses guns for Rapid Shot, he actually stays at range, something that can come in handy against enemies that counterattack you for dealing melee damage. Moving on to support, the Hitman has one ability, Phantom Shift, a self-buffing ability that increases accuracy and evasion. Simple, but effective. Character abilities for Joon-gi are where we start to see status ailments come into play, with the ability to apply paralysis, bleed, sleep, and poison. After applying status ailments, Joon-gi can then follow up with either Fatal Rush or Assassination Kick, both of which deal increased damage against enemies suffering from status ailments. However, the main ability that I want to highlight here is Stun Smash. Much like with Holding Blow, Stun Smash is incredibly efficient for what it does. While not anywhere near as much damage as Holding Blow, Stun Smash does deal shock damage and has a chance to cause paralysis. Shock damage is already incredibly useful in the late game, but paralyzed enemies cannot guard against your attacks, and many enemies in the later stages of the game love to guard, so a move that prevents them from doing so at such a cheap cost is very valuable. So in summary, the Hitman is an incredible job and you should use it and never make Joon-gi anything else. Okay, a proper summary. The Hitman is an offensive powerhouse with access to blunt, slash, pierce, and shock damage, as well as other elements that can be added via elemental properties found on brass knuckles. It also has 2 of the most efficient abilities in the game with Holding Blow and Stun Smash. Furthermore, the Hitman's stats are among the best for an offensive character, having the second highest attack and the highest speed and dexterity stats. Finally, some of its abilities can be used in a more defensive manner by going into stealth to avoid a big attack, or by attacking from afar to avoid enemy counterattacks. And that about does it for this slightly longer but still quick overview of the Hitman job in Yakuza Like a Dragon. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. And if you enjoy the content and want to support the channel, please be sure to leave a like on the video and consider subscribing. You can also catch me over on my Twitch channel or my Discord server, both of which are linked in the video description. Until next time, take care.